One of the things that really excites me is we live in a time right now where more and more people are beginning to think seriously about spirituality and about faith and God again, especially, by the way, those aged kind of 30 and under. Study after study has picked this up. Far less young people now are atheists than 5 or 10 years ago. Sales of the Bible are up. Many more people are beginning to think about spiritual questions. Again, partly, I think, because the secular answers have failed. But then I meet many people like a teenager, a girl, 15, 16-year-old, lives a few doors down from where my family and I live. She was talking to my wife recently and saying, I want to start thinking about spiritual questions, but I have no idea where to begin. Where do I go? And I meet more and more people like that who want to think about spiritual things, who want to think about Christianity, but they've got no Christian background. Where do they begin? Well, if you are in that category, or you have friends who are, this video is for you, and I want to give you a few suggestions as to how you might take your journey forward. First thing I would recommend you do, try praying. Try praying. Try praying what some have called the seeker's prayer. You can just pray, God, I don't know if you're real. I don't know what I think about you, but I want to know. I want to know what's true. Would you reveal who you are to me? Many people who've prayed a prayer like that have been staggered by what's then happened in the weeks and months afterwards, and they're looking back, have seen how God answered that prayer. So try praying. You haven't got to be a particularly spiritual person or use religious language. Just pray, talk to God normally. Secondly, take a good look at Jesus. That's a really good place to begin too. In particular, if you turn to the New Testament, the second half of the Bible, and if you haven't got a Bible, grab yourself one, get hold of one on your phone or audiobook if you're not a reader. And in the beginning of the New Testament, you'll find the 4 Gospels, the 4 historical biographies of Jesus. Take a look at Mark's Gospel. It's the shortest, just 16 chapters long. You can read or listen to it in an evening. And as you do, begin asking yourself the question, who precisely is Jesus? Who is he claiming to be, and what do I think around that? That's the second thing you can do. Thirdly, lean in to your questions. As you begin thinking about faith, probably questions may arise in your mind, maybe objections will arise in your mind. Don't let those put you off and become kind of stumbling blocks in your way. Lean into those questions. Great thing I would recommend, if you go to the SOLAS website, we've got a video series. In fact, this video is part of that series called Short Answers, where almost 200 videos now addressing common questions about the Christian faith. Take a look at those. There's probably, if you've got a question, your question will be answered there somewhere. Fourthly, talk to a Christian friend if you have one. Maybe the reason you're beginning to think about spiritual things is because you've got a friend who has taught you about these things, a friend who's a Christian. Well, why not go to your friend and sit them down over a coffee and say, hey, I'm beginning to think about spiritual things. What do you think? And ask them about their story, ask them about their experience, ask them about their questions, and draw them into your journey. Next up, I would say, do a bit of reading and research yourself, particularly if you're a thinking type. There are some great books out there designed to get started in exploring the Christian faith. One I can highly recommend at the risk of cheap self-promotion. My colleagues and I at SOLAS, along with some friends of ours, worked on a best-selling book called Have You Ever Wondered? Came out about a year ago. Really good for people who are beginning to think about spiritual questions for the first time. Get hold of a copy. If you can't find a copy, email us at SOLAS. We will ensure that we get a copy into your hot little hands. Sixthly, and penultimately, why not try a course to explore the Christian faith? There are 2 wonderful ones I can recommend. There's a course called Alpha that's been running for decades now. About 1.5 million Brits have been through that course and found it a great way to get together with others who are seeking and searching. That course is run by lots of local churches around the country. We'll put a link with this video where you can put in your town or your postcode and it will tell you where the nearest course is. And there's also, in similar vein, a course called Christianity Explored, very similar to Alpha, just with a few different emphases, again, up and down the country. And both those courses are designed to get people together, usually over food and discussion, to explore Jesus and Christianity. Give it a go. Invest a few evenings. If nothing else, you'll make some new friends, but who knows what you might also discover through that. And then lastly, give church a go. If you've never been to church, I agree it may be a bit daunting. Don't worry, give it a go. If you've got a Christian friend, go to the church that they're going. Try your local church, or email us at Solas and tell us where you are, and we'll do our best to connect you. So many people are discovering actually churches can be amazing, warm communities of people who are doing their best to explore faith, discover faith, and follow Jesus. Get yourself along and see where that journey begins. But the main thing is take the next step. Don't just sit there and think, I'm into spirituality. Ask yourself, what's the next step on that journey to discovering what is true and what is real?